Okay, so let me do some introductions here. My name is Steve, and I teach management classes and so forth at UAU, and I've been at UAU for, this is my 13th year. Amazing. I really do not, I know only this much about accounting, so I'm not going to claim to be an accounting professor, instructor of any sort, because my background is economics and management. But I'm here to introduce Mansour Al-Kabi, who is one of my former students that, it's a long story, but I consider Mansour to be my brother Mansour. And so
thank you.
There's nothing.
Thank you.
But the most exciting thing, or why I'm interviewing him for this project, is that he, in the past year, has opened up a restaurant called Apres that one of my colleagues who teaches entrepreneurship has fallen in love with the restaurant, and he literally felt the need to call me to say, please tell Mansour to franchise his restaurant, because this guy just came from Kuwait, and he's like, I've been in every good restaurant in Kuwait, and there is nothing as good as Apres in Kuwait. And so, you know, anyhow, I'm giving you everything everything I just said is true. Mansour has not paid me. I haven't even had a free meal at Apres. I've received nothing. There's been no benefits for anything.
We're working at the benefits loyalty program.
I keep telling Mansour he needs a loyalty program because you know, Costa Coffee already has a free coffee for me, and I've spent virtually nothing there. Where I've dropped several hundred dirhams at least 1,000 dirhams at this point at Apres. And do I have anything for that? Yeah, not even a free cup of coffie. Okay, now let's get to
your friend, Steve. You're supporting your friend. This is the big.
I am supporting my friend. I am.
See,
I am. And I wouldn't. And again, this kills me to say so many nice things about you. I wouldn't keep going back there if the food wasn't as good as it is. Like, it truly. And one more thing for people to know. Mansour's family had a coffee shop downtown, and when I was first getting to know Mansour 10 years ago, he told me about the coffee shop downtown and what worked and what didn't work and so forth and whatever. And so in opening his new shop, he took the lessons he learned from that coffee, from that experience, to then turn it into what's made Apres successful. And that is, for when it comes to entrepreneurship, that is the number one thing. Learning from what worked or didn't work somewhere else is what you have to do in order to make the next one successful.
True. You always keep trying and updating your information to see what's worked best and start using it again and develop more on it. Yeah. So to start it, my name is Mansour Al-Kabi. I'm one of the founders of Apres. It's a restaurant and specialty cafe. It's placed in Lane, near the Stade Hazza Stadium. And thank you, Steve, as you consider me like a brother to you. We think we are good to start. Steve?
Okay. Look, I'm fine with whatever commercial you want to do for your restaurant. I've already made it clear that I like eating at your place. It is really good food. Okay. So let's go through some things here. So what is your understanding of the how do you choose to monitor money flows within your restaurant? Like, what is there something you use to monitor money flows?
First of all, in any business, the first important things is the money. If there is
Sure.
money coming in, that means your business is going on. If there's no money and you cannot control your money flow on the, like on the cost, on the expense, on the wastage, it will be a big loss for you that you cannot survive for more than 2 or 3 months. So from an old experience, I can say that dividing your income, your net sale, as a percentage of like considering is like 30% could be a wastage on not wastage, like on material cost, and you can say 15% is going to be your cost on salaries, and around like 15% going to be in marketing, and 5% going to be in maintenance and all that kind of services. So putting this kind of guideline to manage your expense and your spending money on the coming time, it's very important to be like mentioned and always reminding them where you spend and how much you spend on each things. So as first things you need to do is like to create a financial department to manage all income and outgoing money, for the expense or like this, any spending you have, to show like exact money goes where. And to be able to do this, also you need to apply for one of the good like tools or like accounting tools they use.
What
like,
accounting tools do you use?
For me, after like doing survey through all 3 or 5 different accounting tools, I start using QuickBooks. It's an online website, can be used like 3.
QuickBooks was actually founded by a company that was from my home city. So just letting you know.
Okay. So see, we are supporting.
So Cedar is, it has ties to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, my home city. So anyhow, just letting you know.
It's an amazing tool.
The company is called Intuit, and it literally is headquartered in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, my home city. Just saying. Okay. Keep going.
Just saying. So starting to putting this tool and building your system on it, it's giving me the availability to have like overview of all this outgoing money from the account and what's in, and also to be using the point of sale to managing your sales on the shop, like to managing the movement of the waiters and the orders being punched and all this. So it's
the orders, because I've been to your restaurant enough times, the orders all come in on an iPad and they place the orders there, it goes in, and so therefore
goes directly to the kitchen.
Yep, goes directly to the kitchen, and so therefore everything is
organized there.
Yeah.
So this is all.
Okay, here's what's amazing to me is the fact that you were doing this pre-COVID. You were creating this even pre-COVID, but by the way you're doing this, it is a paperless system that you would not have had to have in the pre-COVID world. You would have had to have this, but it actually works perfectly in the COVID world.
The COVID, yes.
So I just, go ahead.
So I think most of the systems, like the new one now, is using the clouding system or like an iOS system. It's more advanced than the previous one, is like using hard copy menu and like papers mentioning your orders, which will make delays. We focus on like how to make the order fast as enough, how to organize the operation inside the shop. You don't need, the waiters no need to go back to the kitchen to give the orders. No need to go to the bar to give them like what drinks you have. No need to give the cashier what's your bill is gonna be. So it's all gonna be through all this system. Even like in the car for the takeaway orders, he can easily punch it, and while he's going to take your phone, your car number, your coffee is being ready and being delivered by another guy, which is the runner who can deliver the coffee to the outside cars. So creating or organizing the waiters flow in the kitchen and on the restaurant is very important to guarantee the service, the fast service you gonna provide, and the best quality for the customer you're targeting to provide.
I truly find it amazing that when I'm there, the fact, because for the record, in the COVID world, I want to sit outside. I've only sat inside once when I visited you the night, soft opening night. I'm just an outside seat until I'm fully vaccinated. I want to sit outside, and so I appreciate the fact that the guy is able to take my order on his iPad, and it's just done that moment, and that's actually really cool, because there aren't many restaurants in All-In that have that. That's actually pretty unique. That's
it's now because of the COVID, now most of the people start switching to this kind of systems. But there is a variety.
You had this in plan, but this is actually what really impresses me with you, because you had this in plan
before
pre-COVID. I mean, so you were doing this. It's one thing when people make these transitions because it's COVID, but it's another thing when somebody had this in mind beforehand. Yes. And for the record, for people who are watching this, I now feel like I feel the need to insult Mansour somehow, because I'm complimenting him way too much, and I genuinely love Mansour, but this is anyhow. I don't. This is not meant to be a Mansour love fest. Okay, next topic on here. So if you were to describe the cash flow system you have, so a customer comes in, places an order. Whatever, the order goes to the iPad, they make the coffee, they make the food, whatever, blah blah blah, and so then they what percentage of your customers pay using a cashless pay system versus a cash pay system? Because you've definitely made the system, you've definitely made it so I always pay with Apple Pay, and that's much easier, much better.
So we have around more than 90% of the customers paying with their cards. Okay. Visa or Master or American Express.
American Express? Really?
Yeah, we have one or two. We have.
I don't know. No. You have to understand. See, I'm old enough that American Express was the thing to have when I was 20 years old. Everybody wanted an American Express card. I didn't know anybody uses it anymore. I can't believe, seriously, people use American Express.
We have one or two maybe a month, but
that's yeah.
I think it's being used for the people.
What? Okay, what? Keep going.
I think people who using it is they have a source of money that it's for saving or to be used with luxury.
Okay, so you know how credit cards today now have all these rewards things? For me, it's miles, whatever. Anyhow, which I think you're also, Mansour and I have had this conversation many times. But American Express was the original rewards card.
That's right.
Before anybody else understood what rewards were, American Express understood rewards, and so that they were the first ones to do that. So not surprised at all. But seriously, I had no idea anybody still uses.
But you need to have these options ready in your shop, whenever.
You want to make one of the things that irritates me in All-In is the fact that I often get into it. Not often. I don't ride a taxi that often, but when I'm in a taxi, as I'm getting out, I'm like, I'll do Apple Pay, and they're like, you can't use credit card. I'm like, really? You're a taxi and you can't accept a credit card? Really? It happens more than it doesn't happen. So
I wish to see all taxis having credit card, and all small groceries are ready to use credit card also.
They should be.
Yeah, I would be happy to see this.
They should be, but it's not happening. Okay. So over 90% is a cashless system, which the cashless system makes it easier for you in terms of accounting, because it's just automatically done, right? I mean, when you're using QuickBooks.
Yes, it's so when it's gonna be credit card, it goes all directly to the bank, and it's easy to track between the sales you have in the system and your bank account balance to see this numbers are similar every day of the month. And regarding the cash, I have kind of system that I have special driver for that with the manager to be deposit in the bank in the same day for the transaction. So
Yep.
closing the cashier is every day with the amount of the cash and Visa to be equal to the balance on the month on the bank.
Sure.
And for the cash flow, that what I create is a separate bank account for all the sales that I have only, not the expense. So all my sales is entering in one bank account. And
Okay.
what I need to spend is being like calculated and planned a month before to take one check to the other account to be used as expense account.
So, what I'm hearing from you is that you're separating capital spending, so you're separating capital spending versus the operational spending.
Yes, income and spending, capital spending.
Okay.
Operational spending. Yeah. So all my operations expense and spending for the month, it is all in one account. So it's been like planned. I have a monthly plan for the expense and how much it's going to be with the salary, with the all the utilities, with the suppliers,
so you
agents.
basically write a check over that, then therefore this is going to cover all those expenses
for this next month.
Yeah.
Month of April, month of June, and extra.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
So this regarding the sale and the expense, and regarding also you said you should have a cash in the shop, like in like in the petty cash. There's some suppliers that they don't use a credit base, so you have to use a cash, petty cash on the account in the accounting department. So yes, we do have also a petty cash. We're trying to minimize it, but we also keep a control on it, like to be renewed.
How do you keep control on that? That actually control is where I'm going on my next question. So how do you, what are your control functions? What do you use for control?
It's monitoring how much you sell, like for example, how much material you used and how much material you purchased already. And also you control this is regarding the material, and as I mentioned before, it's a percentage, like how much is my sales and how much is my use of the inventory. So you keep that percentages around like 26 to 27. If it goes above this, that means there's something wrong in your spending, either like they're purchasing more items.
Where did you learn that? Where did you learn that 26, 27? I mean, this is a serious question. I love you, Mansour, but where did you learn 20? Where did you learn that number? That's a very specific. How did you learn that? Where did that come from?
It's all based like on when you're doing like what we say that is pricing for your items. So you calculate the cost to understand that this is my percentage of cost, this is my percentage of wastage. So always like to keep my profit in this percentage.
Okay,
because
so okay. I want to make sure that I understand this in supply chain terms, because you're a supply chain major. So you're saying cost of goods sold needs to be somewhere in the 26-27% range. Which in the food industry, that actually, I do know, because a really good friend of mine ran a restaurant in America, and so he's the one who told me if you go over 30%, you're screwed.
Yes, over 30 years.
So he's the one who told me, like, he told me this probably before you were born, because I'm really old. Anyhow, he's like, he's like, if you go over, if you're a restaurant and you go over 30% cost of goods sold, you're done.
Yes. The best percentage, as I understand, and from reading and asking like people like business owners, is 24%. Okay. So if you're doing 24%, you are in very good shape, like by 100% controlling.
Kurt's goal was 1/4, so 25%. Kurt's goal was 25%. And he's like, it's just, then if you're going above 30%, he's like, why are you a restaurant?
It's true. You're wasting a
Like,
lot
it's
of
like,
money.
you're not a restaurant. At that point, you're serving for family of that, whatever. It's like, okay. Okay. So, but what are the controls you have that, how do you, because there are some things there's some things you can't get around. Like, if demand is not as high and so therefore some
True.
food goes to waste because whatever. I mean, I have no idea if you've encountered any of this, but there are some things you just run into. It's like, this month we didn't sell as much of this as we expected. Which one of the things I actually really appreciate about your restaurant is the fact that you have a limited menu. And I think one of the problems that a lot of restaurants have is they want to be all things for all people. And so I
Yes.
actually appreciate your relatively limited menu because it means the things you do are really good. The restaurants who try to offer 100 items, then it's
You
100.
can't focus.
Yeah, exactly. It's 100 okay items.
You remember you were pushing me like, when is your dinner menu gonna be ready?
I
At
was
that
just
time.
curious. I just wanted to know. That's, you know, I because I really do love your breakfast menu. I've had enough
So
time.
we take
But I'm just curious.
yeah, we take a lot of time to prepare it and to make sure that this is that every dishes we provided the menu that reach the level of quality that we are offering on all the rest of the menu. So
Yeah, no, and I'm totally with you on this. I'm totally with you on the idea of we're not gonna offer something unless it's at super quality. This is the Steve Jobs. This is the Steve Jobs. We don't make crap. You know, that's his. Whatever we offer has to be at super high quality. So
true, and enable to control like the demand on that. So you start doing like a minimum number of meals every day, and after that start counting how many meals you need to prepare for the next day, and start to do like
you're freezing on me. Just okay. Go again.
Yes. So we start like broadcasting. They said for like how much you're gonna need in the next day or the week after it. So you start building your broadcasting items or like level that need to be prepared because you know the breads and the cooked item, the baked item need to be done a night before to be served next day fresh and all this bean. And most of our items being made daily, so you don't have a stock of 3 days or 4 days. Everything we served like it's been made yesterday as a minimum or like same day.
You look again when it comes to food quality. I'm gonna compliment you too much, and so it's gonna make me whatever. I'd like truly always fantastic food at your restaurant. So period. Yeah.
That's why in this case.
And by the way, I've gained a couple of kilos the past whatever, so I haven't been to your restaurant because my rule is I have to be a little bit lower because your food is delicious, but it's definitely not diet, and so yeah. So anyhow,
we're gonna send you one cardio machine that your home to be like serving you well.
Yeah, well, yeah, just yeah. So anyhow, again, Apres for me is like my reward when I'm 81 kilos or less, and that hasn't been for a couple of weeks. Okay. So we've talked about manual activities, recommended activities, right? So let's see. So how do you, this point 5 here, provide the added value for each activity automation you recommended. So you automated several things that, what is the, from your restaurant, from your cafe, whatever, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, what is automation brought you that you're like, wow, this is a game changer compared to what I had in the restaurant 15 years ago?
Like the systems that we have nowadays, it's very amazing and fantastic. Like for example, in the shop, the point of sale, like we're like taking the orders, sending the tickets to the kitchen and the bar or the people who need to make it. This is escalating the process of the item and serving for the customer, and minimizing the waiting time, and also reducing the number of employees that can be needed to do all this process. So automating the ordering ticketing system is very important. This is one good we can say goal to reach. And from the other side, in the accounting, by applying this big tools of the accounting system, it give you the chance that daily bills being entered and daily cost being monitored, to give you like better decision to be taken on your next time. So these tools automating, reducing the number of employees needed, as I mentioned before, even the admin side, and the good decision you have. So less error you can have between entering manual bills and all that system.
As the guy who taught you Supply Chain 200, the introductory supply chain class, one of the things that I talked about in that class was the fact that all sales are variable. Like you can have one day where like, wow, things are awesome and whatever, and then have the next day whatever. And sometimes you can, where I come from, we know sometimes what it is because a snowstorm comes and no one's coming in or whatever. So I come from a place where weather can be a factor. Weather is rarely a factor in the UAE. And so I'm curious, like, have you found a lot of variability, or like, you're like, why are Tuesdays not good sales days? Have you found anything that you're just like, we can't, there's some variability here that we can't quite figure out? So I've asked you many questions here, but my first question is, obviously you have the variability. How variable is it? Like from a Tuesday to a Wednesday, how often is it more than a 10%
we
variance?
can't, because you know, it's the line is not only regarding the weather, like it's regarding the population, that most of the people like working in Abu Dhabi, for example. So and if in the weekdays, there are most of them like
Freezing on me.
busy.
Okay, keep going.
Busy with the works, they do every day. So weekends, you have the highest sales, we can say, than the weekdays.
That's true for every restaurant in the world. That's true for every restaurant. Okay.
You cannot say why Tuesday is better than Wednesday. Sometimes depends on the equation that it's happening, what event is going around, what marketing campaign you did. For example, like we had a campaign like previous 4 or 3 months. We doing one day, Women Days.
Sunday, the Sunday Women Days, which I thought was awesome. Have you stopped doing that? I think that's a fantastic campaign. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's thrive all women's and on the area to try the restaurant. And this is like make the sales higher than before, like, because you know the average amount for bill is higher than the normal standard, which make it
because women, never mind. Anyhow, I'm not surprised at all. There's nothing about that that surprises me whatsoever. And I also thought when I heard you, when one of the staff members told me that they have the Sunday Women's Day, where I was like, that is a great idea. So I didn't even learn about that from you. I learned it from one of your staff people, and I was like, that's a fantastic idea. So
things like that need to be created by the management to control the variety of the sales within the week or within the month. So taking this direct action by watching these numbers, it's give you the upper hand on knowing where your business is going on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
How many questions do you have?
I'm honestly right now. I'm just checking. I'm checking the sheet. If there's anything that is there. Okay, so what would you say are the threats and risks within the controls that you have? What do you, because obviously you were previously with the company, you previously had a restaurant cafe that had very few controls because there weren't available back then. And now you have one where pretty much everything is really, really automated and 90% of your customers are using cashless pay thing, whatever. And so what do you consider to be the list of threats, risks? Let me just put it to you. The list of threats, risks, and controls within the automated system.
Sometimes the delays, it's happening for change to be done. Like, for example, if you're planning for a new investment, like purchasing a new oven, or like starting a new kitchen, or upgrading your material you have, the equipment you have. Since you have all this kind of controls and processes for all these items that the kitchen need to, the chef need to check the equipment, need to approve it, need to the accounting department need to communicate with the supplier, getting the good price. All this kind of process now it's been applied. I think it's delaying the change that you're looking for, or like decision being taken. And if you have any issues like happening in the same day, you need to have a quick response on it. Because if you have this kind of a big level of controlling and monitoring, this kind of decision need to be taken, should be taken, like it takes a while to be implemented because of the system that you take some time. You think, is it?
Sure. Which is, but I mean, the good news is you're still small enough in the sense you're still small enough that what takes time is a couple of days as opposed to the large, for people who are watching this, Mansour's internship was at Boeing, a company that obviously Boeing, a company that is as big as it is, things take forever to have something approved and so forth and whatever. So yeah. I think so we're literally to the what else do you think we need to know question. So that's we're near the end of of the checklist of things that part of this assignment. We're now at the what is it? Is there anything else we need to know?
You always, I think, and I believe, you need to double check your numbers. Don't trust that it's only being registered once. You need to keep an eye on your numbers, and to get an outsource company to monitor and double check, to do an auditing for all your 3-month or 6-month accounting system, or to get another company. Yeah, I truly recommend to do this.
Explain the why on that. I'm genuinely curious. Explain the why on that.
Because you're taking decision based on these numbers. So to be able to make sure that all this what you're doing or what decision you have being taken, it's right. You need to take an experienced people to have an eye on your system and advise what's right, what's wrong on the system you have, or is it being followed the process, the guideline you have. I truly have process manual for all department I do have on the restaurant I have. As you mentioned, you said, yeah, you are small, but once I start creating what do you call it? SLOI, standards of procedures.
It's SOP, standard operating procedures. Yeah. SOP.
For all departments, to make sure that it's following exactly the procedures that I know and I'm aware of, and it's easy to not depend on one person to do this job. Like whenever you have different person, they can't do all the same job, that being asked to do.
Right.
So this is a very important to create this kind of standards for a better growing of the business and a clear vision. And getting those expert people like auditors and the tools development, marketing companies, it's helping your business. Like, don't think it's a waste of money. No, it's helping your business by ideas, by new tools and system.
The only thing, number one, I totally get it from marketing, whatever. You were truly, I cannot think of, I've talked to, in my lifetime, I've talked to dozens, literally dozens of small business owners. You're the first person who said, I appreciate an outside auditing.
Yes. You have.
Which, you know, this class is accounting information systems. I'm sure yeah, anyhow, but you were, I know a lot of small business people. The idea of, I appreciate the outside auditor is something I don't think I've ever heard any of them say.
In my business, I don't only have a restaurant. I do have an HR person. I do have an accounting person, purchaser, storekeepers, marketing guy. I have like an admin office that manage the operation and the needs of the restaurant.
So you really are ready to franchise, or I mean, you really are ready to open multiple. I mean, this is there's no reason why this is just going to be an all-lane single thing. I mean, if you have all this,
that's why I told you, like, I'm putting all the procedures, all this kind of item that's need to be easy open in any branch that I am looking for, or like to have any extent and franchise in the futures.
Well, when I was in college, I had a really good friend, Rahul, that I actually put, anyhow, I made a joke in the student newspaper. Rahul, remember me when you make your millions. And Rahul he's still a good friend, you know, 30 years later, he's still a good friend. I was best man at his wedding. Yeah, anyhow, really good friend 30 years later. For you, Mansour, I'll just be like, yes, please remember when you make your millions. This is anyhow, I've already complimented you way too much, so this is probably a good place to. Anything else you want to say before I stop the recording?
I would like in the end, thank you, Steve, for taking this opportunity to be like I called it monitor for the.
Well, hey, wait a minute. I just need to say, a couple of hours ago, I was able to sign up for the Pfizer vaccine because according to UAE rules, I'm a senior citizen. At 52, I'm a senior citizen. So anyhow, so yeah, I'm your senior citizen.
You are. We get the
anyhow,
from you.
Good place to stop the recording.
Thank you.